Good morning, good night. Just working on my C5 Corvette, and today doing something very simple. I'm gonna get this pile of wheels, change them out on the car, and the other ones will go there. Why am I doing it? These are all seasons, Pilot Sport all seasons. That's what we're putting on. I've got one on already, and these, which they're a little dirty, we'll have to clean them up. That's the rest. That's the remaining three. So I'll walk you through my system. It's pretty fast, pretty easy. Gonna need a jack. Of course, I have this one here. This happens to be a very low rise, 2 1/8 inch off the ground, and then you'll need a jacking puck. You really want this, otherwise, because down here is all plastic, composite, under the car, so that wraps underneath the car, and basically you want to get it down into, I can show you here, there's a hole down here. What's that? So you want to get it down into a hole. See if I can find it right there where my finger is. So that's where we're going to put that. That mounts, that's the jack point. There's like a million people that make these. People make them with a hockey puck. They do it in themselves. But anyway, that just goes there, and eventually that gives you a nice rubber lifting point, and you don't break your fiberglass or plastic composite. There you go. So now lifting on a nice point there. The underside of this car has this nice aluminum tray, or actually it's actually a balsa wood, a metal composite, layered like a sandwich. So relatively flat underneath here, not 100% flat, relatively flat. You've got like the exhaust that goes down the middle. It's actually a pretty nice car to work on because very little rust. Most of it's non-rusting materials like aluminum and composite. So good stuff. Let's go ahead and get this side in the air, and we'll keep going. All right, so these are the tires we're taking off. These are General G-Max RS. These are Summers. Basically, they're pretty awesome. They've got a 360 tread wear, which means that they're pretty soft. That being said, I did a season of autocross with these, and we still got plenty of tread left. It was about 10 events, so not too bad. Plus, of course, some street driving. You can see that there have been some chunks that got taken out here and there, which will happen on a softer tire, especially if you're doing, harder, aggressive track work or autocross or something like that. But very happy with the way these held up. I'll probably go for a softer compound next time, but you cannot beat these General G-Max RS for the price, because they are cheaper than the all seasons, for example, that I'm replacing them with, but much more summer performance. Good stuff. I want to point out on the Corvette, basically you've got these, which I thought were the lug nuts the first time I took the wheels off, and I put my socket on there, and I got my breaker wrench, and I went to turn it off, and it was so loose it basically came off in my hand, and I thought, holy crap, my lug nuts, I've been driving around and my lug nuts have been hand tight this whole time. It turns out it's not. These are just plastic covers, as you can see. So they're just chrome plated plastic. And these came with all of the C5 Corvettes of the period. So mine's a 2001, and behind it are the true lug nuts, which are there. And of course there's 5 of them. So we're gonna take off the rest of these and break them off. By the way, this is a 19. So I don't know if you can see that. Happens to be. Anyway, this is a 19 millimeter socket, and you always want to make sure that the car is still on the ground while you break it loose. That way, the wheel's not just spinning. So now, I'm actually going to take the car, and I'll just get it a couple of inches in the air. And if we were getting under the car for any reason, if you're going to be under the car, you got to use jack stands. You got to use something to protect your life. I'm not getting under the car. I'm lifting it up. People want to use jack stands. You should. They're great. I'm not getting under the car. So worst case, my car hits the ground, which we don't want to happen if the jack were to fail. But highly unlikely that anything would actually be hurt for what we're talking about here. So I'm not going to use jack stands this time. Having one of these makes your life a lot easier. It's a a half-inch drive, so you can just use your drill. These tires are pretty cool. These are the again, these are the General G Max RS. So they have this here, which basically is a replacement tire monitor. So and it's just they made these letters down to different depths in the tire. So as you wear this tire down, you wear the rubber down, it actually the word replace shows and tire shows, but meant and monitor basically wear away, because these two are deeper. Their tread are deeper on these two, so what you end up with, replace tire once it's time to replace it, and that's pretty cool. I mean, it's like, well, it makes life really easy. Obviously, you have the wear bars in here, just like all tires do, and we got tons of life on these tires. I can't believe for a whole season, 10 events plus street driving of autocross, just how good these are. I'm blown away. So I think these General G Maxes, 2 thumbs up for a really good summer tire for the $1. I'm not saying they're the best, but they're real good for the $1. And especially for, these are wide tires. 245 in the front. I think they're 275 in the rears. So let's go check that out. Yeah, 275 in the rears. So pretty cool. This, by the way, is what the inside of the Corvette looks like. Step back so you can see. Basically, I've got blank rotors on there because that was what was required for B Street in SCCI Autocross. I had drilled and slotted on there before. Both work fine. I have really good pads up front, and I can get that information for you. They were expensive, but oh my God, stops on a dime right now. And then I have the C6 Z06 shocks that are direct bolt-in. They are direct bolt-in. They're really cool. And when bang for your buck. Yes, you can get coilovers, you can get all types of other stuff on there, but those are awesome. So best bang for your buck, C6 Z06 direct bolt-in, and then it's just nice to look at how much aluminum there is here. You've got the leaf spring down there, which is interesting. Ooh, a bit of tape falling down. I don't know what this is from, but I'll address that in a second. And I did, by the way, this is a Strano Parts sway bar. I'm not really under the car, just kind of putting the phone over here so you can see it. But that's the Strano Parts sway bar, which is legal for the autocross group I run with. In fact, I'm going to look under here. I am going to get a jack stand just so I can get under here and look at where that tape is. And so basically that was just 20-year-old electrical tape. This car is 20 years old today. Well, today, this year. So I just was able to just kind of take it off. It was on that sensor on there, which I think is, I'm gonna guess it's the alternator down there. I can confirm if that's accurate later. Again, a lot of aluminum under here. The big oil pan here. This is they call the Batwing oil pan. You can see the exhaust comes out of both sides. I was actually driving that today, so any water you see is probably condensation from the AC, which runs because I have the automatic climate control even when it's cold, which is kind of annoying. And I did wash the car as well, so maybe it's from that. Anyway, that's what she looks like underneath. And I had the jack stand there, double protection. And by the way, these are the brake vents here. Like you can see, they're very legit. Like what I like about this car is it's real. When you look through there, these vents on the front, those feed the engine, these feed the brakes. So you're getting a real car that's, you know, function over form, or form follows function, I should say, because the vents and stuff on here, they're real. You know, this one over here, it's not like a fake cutout like today you see on so many cars. This goes again into the engine bay. The ones on the rear here, you know, these slots help, you know, avoid the pressure buildup on the backside. So I like that it's a real car, which is something, you know, we don't have anymore. Okay, back to the Michelin Pilot Sport All Season 3 Plus. So these are, you know, it does matter. They do have an outside and an inside, which is denoted on the it's marked here on the tire, which is good. And I think it has to do with like how they stiffen up the outside sidewall and things like that. Also, you got all your information here, which is good. You got your little Michelin man pointing to kind of the tread wear indicator. You don't really want to go beyond kind of where these marks are. So that's interesting and good. You'll notice that even though there is an inside-outside, I mean, once they're mounted, you can't really mess this up, because this could go on the right side of the car, it could go on the left side of the car. It means you can swap them side to side because it is essentially a symmetrical tread, whereas in comparison to what's on the G-Maxes, you'll notice that it's very directional, and they tell you as much rotation. So these, they want it only turning in one direction. So I've always been taught that you put the bottom nut on first, because if the car were to fall, basically the pressure up here is pressing against it, whereas if it's on the top, it might just flip off. So I think it's a good idea. Dear old dad taught me that, following his method. Now we're not done, right? We've put it on with this, but that's just to get it sort of finger tight, so to speak. And by the way, speaking of finger tight, make sure you get these on so you don't cross thread them. Put them on a couple of threads by hand before you do anything with the gun, or you're going to be hating yourself because you cross threaded them. So those are all on good, and away we go. Now you'll notice I didn't use any particular pattern. Again, I didn't really tighten them up in any particular order. Probably would be best to use the 5-star pattern, so I'll do that on the rest. But I haven't tightened them down yet anyway. So let's get this wheel on the ground. It's on, but they're not tight, and then we can use the actual correct method. Oh. And if you've been paying attention, I forgot to do something, which is, so this is part of the reason why I don't typically use the X-stand. You forget them up there, or they slow you down sometimes. But it could save your life. If you're under the car, you need jack stands. I want to be clear about that. Okay, back to the point. Let's lower it. Okay, so we're down, and we want to get things right. Okay, so we're down, and we want to get things right. So we're using a torque wrench, and they want about 100 foot-pounds, which I've got this set to. So I'm going to now use the 5-star pattern, which you can see here. So it started down here, skip one, go over, skip one, go over, skip one, go over, skip one, go over. This would be the 5th. Okay, now they all should be at 100 foot-pounds, but let's just double check them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. She's done. So now we've done another wheel. It pretty much goes without saying that the next thing you want to do is put all of these on. So I won't bore you with that detail. I'll show you an after. All right, backing it off. There you go. There's the wheel. It's on. It's tight. It's safe. And, well, after it gets a wash, it'll look pretty good. Anyway, this gap is pretty large right now because I just had the car in the air. Right? Does not pass the shoe test. So once we... you know, that'll settle down over the next day or so, and especially just driving it. I mean, you could drive it for an hour and it would be back down to normal. In case I didn't say it clearly before, make sure you grab your puck out that you use for jacking for the front ones. There are jacking points in the rear as well, and they're pretty much here in the back. You kind of have to feel around to find them. Here it is underneath the end of the door. So pretty much there. That's sort of under the door handle, roughly. So at the rear of the car, right, we're on the back, or at the rear of the car, there's another place you can basically jack it up from, and that's from over here. And basically it's this aluminum crossbar. So by doing this, we're able to get the whole rear end in the air at the same time. And that, of course, makes my life easier. And it's a very stable area to jack from. So we're on. I'm not going to go all the way up at the moment. I'm just going to relieve a little bit of tension, and you can see both sides going up little by little. Just going to get some tension off of it, and then we'll break the wheels loose, excuse me, the lug nuts loose, and take them off one at a time. No need to have both wheels off at the same time, so we'll just do one at a time. It's safer. When they come off, there is no order. You don't have to follow the 5-star pattern. There you go. So just break them. And then one. Oh, didn't loosen it. There's always one, right? Let's get this up in the air. I just love how ridiculously wide these tires are. I mean, these are 275s, and you know, they're not as wide as my foot, but they certainly wider than my hand. So good stuff. You know, if you had a Viper, you're probably laughing at this. Yours are even bigger, close to 300, I think. Okay, one's on. I will follow the 5-star pattern for this. Whoops. Again, put them on by hand. So that one will be next, followed by this, followed by this, followed by this. Get them all threaded by hand. Good, good, good. One, that would be 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, they're all on. We'll call it finger tight. Drop the car. just so the wheel touches the ground, and torque them. Okay, so we'll follow the same order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they should all be tight. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now that we've identified I can count to 5, we've got one more wheel to go. Okay, we're going to do the last wheel. The car already has the jack underneath the brace in the back. I'm going to use the socket to pull off those covers. So again, never power your socket while you're taking these covers off. They're just really hand tight, but it just helps to get a grip on them using the same 19mm socket. Convenient that GM made it that way. The covers are 19 and the lug nuts themselves are 19, so you can use the same tool. It's mid-November, it's almost Thanksgiving, but I gotta tell you, it's like weirdly warm today. That's why I'm sweating. Well, I've got the shorts and the jacket. It's kind of like this weird middle temperature where it's too cold for just a t-shirt, especially if you're standing still. Too hot for a jacket and pants, apparently. And even perhaps a jacket and shorts, because I am sweating as I do this. Okay, and that is, there you go, that's all 5. So let's get it up into the air fully. Okay, using that jacking point we saw earlier. Now let's just use it. And this is just a standard drill. It doesn't have to be a torque, something fancy. We're not doing anything other than just speeding up the process by using this. It's not really, I'm not using this to torque anything. Okay, wheel is off. Don't set it down face down. You want to set it down on its back if you're going to set it down on any direction. Get that out of the way. Again, I'll show you how good this tread is. I can't believe how good this tread is. I mean, my whole finger could essentially, my pinky finger fits in there. That's how much tread there is. Pretty awesome. These are, again, G-Max RS. General G-Max RS summer tires. I will say these Pilot Sports all seasons are also really good. They're probably one of the best all seasons you can get. So much quieter. They're not run flats, right? The original car came with run flats, which sucked. Do yourself a favor. Tire technology has come along so far. I mean, you'll screw yourself if you get a tire, a flat tire, because there's no spare in here. But I have AAA. I don't, we're not going on a super long trip here. So typically on any day that I'm going to drive this is a day where I'm not driving to my most important meeting. So if I had a bad day, wouldn't be the end of the world, and get towed with AAA. So, all right, let's get this wheel on and be done. This is the last wheel. I did one of them off camera. So I'm just gonna hold it with my toe right there. Again, not under the car. If I was under the car, I need a jack stand, but just hold that. So that goes on. I don't need to go all the way. And some might use this flag as a way, like some people, they'll start always down here and they'll use that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You kind of finish, finish at the finish line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which kind of makes sense, but really doesn't matter as long as you follow the pattern and you get them all torqued. You're good. So I'm sure if I was changing these every day, I'd have a very special way. I'd want them to be done. Okay, they're all finger tight. Down comes the car and the jack. We won't need the jack anymore. And we're not done yet, right? We gotta torque these. So, again, 100 foot-pounds. And 100 foot-pounds is enough. You got to put some body weight into it. You're not just going to do it sitting down. I'm torque them in the order. Go. So there you go. All right. Come have a look. Let's see Daddy's car.
Oh, I don't have shoes now. I cannot go here now.
All right, go get your shoes.
I can just watch you.
Okay. My daughter's out. So anyway, we're done. Get these on, and probably get this car cleaned up a little bit, and she's ready for the off season, which is really the winter, as I mentioned. She's ready for the off season, which is really the winter, as I mentioned, before Thanksgiving.
This one don't need Daddy.
Hang on, let me show you my daughter. Hey, what's that? Can you tell me what those are? What's this?
Those are wheels.
Yep, how many wheels on a car?
A lot.
Can you count?
One,
Yeah.
2, 3. 1. No. Oh. 1, 2. What's this needle?
That's a drill bit. Or a driver, I should say, driver. All right. And of course there's 3 here. And I never picked up that one from over there, so got to put the stuff away. Got all types of little stuff hanging out, so let me finish that off and give the car a good little rinse down, and we're good to go. All right. Say bye-bye, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Say enjoy your driving.
Enjoy your journey.
Okay, bye. So I will say, it's an easy enough job to do by yourself, and you feel like when you do it yourself, you got it done right. And it took me, that's 15 minutes per corner with the video. You could probably get it down to 10 if you were real fast. Now there's a little bit more, thanks. There's a little more time to, of course, get the tools out. That takes 5 minutes. I keep them in the basement. It's a pain in the butt. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. You get it done right. And now we've got winter wheels, and I don't even worry. I had this car out in the snow last year. You get it all washed after that. You wash the underside so nothing rusts, and you're good. So enjoy. All right, can you put that back for me? Do you know where it goes?
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you very much. guys, I'll show you this. See this Craftsman set? I had it from when I was, I don't know, when I was in college, maybe even before college. Yeah, I think I was. So, great little set, and I haven't lost a piece. So, doesn't take much, and I didn't even really need it. All I really needed was. So the tools you need a breaker bar, you need a 19mm socket, and a torque wrench, as my daughter is showing you. And then this is an optional equipment. I mean, this is the just a drill with a half-inch drive in there. And of course, you're gonna need a jack and a jack stand if you're gonna be under the vehicle. So, there you go. Of course, don't forget, you're gonna need a beautiful car. Well, it doesn't have to be beautiful, but it doesn't hurt neither. So, enjoy, people. Just give her a sound. All right. Sorry, neighbors. Enjoy, people.